This is Dr. Saul Adoni, and I'm going to discuss the viral math question. 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2 is equal to question mark. First, a little background on myself. I'm the author of over 100 books. Many of them are academic books. My site is sauladoni.com. I am also the founder of universitius.com. It's a post-grad think tank. I am also the founder of helixq.org. It's an AI level project think tank that I founded many years ago. I'm also the founder of One Media, 300 business and local search portals. Some of the books and theories I've written over the years include the prime algorithm. Most of you were taught that primes are random. Well, many years ago I found a prime algorithm. The Adoni prime spirals that the NSA has used to backdoor through NIST many special relationships with the numbers they release for encryption. I'm also the person that discovered PDF theory, which was the adjustment or correction of the first law of physics, which was Titus Bode's. So this is the theory that NASA now uses to find exoplanets in other solar systems. I'm also the creator of what's known as EOE theory, the elliptical orbit effect theory on plate tectonics that the USGS is analyzing to use in quake phenomena. I'm also the founder of computer universe theory. That's my theory that our universe is most likely a virtual simulation. This goes back to over 40 years ago. And my other work on that is known as holographic universes. Some call it also holographic principle. That is my background. Now back to viral math question. What is 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2? This has caused a lot of confusion to people because as written, it's what would be known as an undefined expression. It's too ambiguous to give you one absolute correct answer. So depending on the conventions of mathematics that you use to try to come to a solution, there are 2 solutions. The proper way to define this would be the sum of 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2. Then you would get 9. If you define it properly as 6 divided by the sum of 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2, then you would arrive at the answer of 1. Both of these are defined expressions. There is only one correct answer the way that I have displayed the proper mathematical notation. The best answer is that 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2 is undefined or ambiguous. That is the best answer for this question. Well, why do people insist that it is either the number 9 or the number 1? Well, modern math convention, since the age of computers, have taught BODMAS or PEMDAS. These are acronyms to describe a operator sequence on how you would go about solving a string of equations. So this is not a law, this is just modern math theory that most people learn in school. This is wrong in my opinion because the expression is not properly defined. So you can't say it is absolutely 9 when you understand what an ambiguous or undefined expression is, which this question is. Now, if you understand a classical algebra solution, going back to Euclid, you would view the segment of the expression that is 2 times the sum is 1 plus 2 can only be equal to 6. That's because in algebra, the 2 is associated to the parentheses. It cannot be split apart. So, depending on your level of mathematical understanding, you don't see a time sign here, so it can't be split apart unless we have an operator in between that expression. So when we have number 2 with the multiplication operator times the sum of 1 plus 2, now we can split it apart. But that mathematical operator for multiplication does not appear in it. Now, this concept is basic Euclidean algebra. It's over 2,300 years old. Now, let's teach you how to write from a verbal expression a correct mathematical notation. So if we say 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2, then we have 6 divided by 2. We put in the multiplication operator because we're not going to separate it. That is a direction in the proper notation. So we then would put the element or the set 1 plus 2. If you have this notation, then the answer would be 9, but the question doesn't have the multiplication operator, and that is why it's an ambiguous statement. Now, if we write this expression, 6 divided by the sum of 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2, we then have 6 divided by a square bracket, 2, parentheses, 1 plus 2, closing parentheses, closing square bracket. That's the proper way to notate this. The answer then is unequivocally 1. Now the problem is it wasn't written that way. So what is the best academically correct answer? I would say 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2 is equal to 6. It cannot be split apart. So therefore the answer is 6 divided by 6 is 1. But we cannot say that absolutely because the expression is ambiguous. So due to my background in mathematics and my understanding of classical algebra and the association of 2 to this equation, then I would say, look, it's ambiguous, but there's no multiplication operator, so it should be 1. But I would definitely say it's ambiguous. Now, most people who are not academics say, well, the best non-academic answer would be it's a convention using BODMAS or PEMDAS. So we see 3 times 3 is equal to 9. But it's an ambiguous expression. So if you want to insist that it's 9, you have to also agree, well, you know, it's an ambiguous expression. If you don't do that, then you're not answering it correctly. So the viral math question, 6 divided by 2 times the sum of 1 plus 2 is equal to, correct answer, undefined expression. It is ambiguous. That is the proper answer. People, you need to learn to understand what an undefined expression is. So when you come across a notation like this, you see the error in that it's not fully defined, that it leads to more than one answer. So you learn how to do proper mathematical notation, which is kind of a lost art, like longhand handwriting. People don't learn to write in script, so they've forgotten it. Well, we have calculators and computers now, so people aren't learning how to do proper mathematical notation by hand. They're just using calculators and computers. Learn classical algebra. Then you would become familiar with a concept such as n, meaning any positive integer, times 1 plus itself, n, is always equal to n squared plus n. So this great puzzle that someone created is actually based on this classical algebra notation, that any number times itself plus 1 is always equal to the square of that number plus the number. This is Dr. Adoni. If you have any questions, you can comment here and I'll try to answer them for you, or you can go to one of my sites and contact me. Go to my site. There's lots of great books that have a lot of historical information, mathematics, New Age type stuff with Mandela effects, etc., meditation and crystals and all that kind of stuff. It's an interesting time we live in, but people, you need to learn classical algebra, and then you would understand correct mathematical notation, and you would understand what a undefined expression is, and that is ambiguous. There's no one correct answer other than it's ambiguous or undefined. Have a great day. This is Dr. Adoni.